Well, most of you have the email, and there's a huge, long summary of these two, so I'm going to let them, you read that. But I'm a kind of a frequent flyer at the library. I've always liked to read. There's so many other things going on up there. I can't even remember when the yoga classes started. It's been a long time, but they wrote a grant and they're free, so it's been wonderful to go for that. And we just got a lot going on, so ladies.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I'm Carissa. I'm the director at the library.
I'm Leanne. I'm the new programming specialist at the library.
Leanne started in February, and she does programming for all ages at the library for us. So I'm going to just today talk a little bit about some of the resources that we have. A lot of times there's just a lot more than just books. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit, and then Leanne's going to talk about some programs that we have going on. And it's a little crinkly, but it'll work, so just bear with me here. So I wanted to ask all of you, when you think of a library, what do you think we have? And anybody wants to say what they think?
Books on tape.
Books on tape, audiobooks, yep. Books.
Story hour?
Yep, story time.
Movies.
Movies, yep. All of those, plus more. We really try and engage what our community wants and needs. So we really have to, of course libraries started out with books, but we've just had to evolve over the many years, and now we have other resources, now with the digital, and then also a lot of programs too. So this is just our website and Facebook. I thought I'd throw that in there. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about what we have at our library specifically, talk about our catalog with all of the items on there, our digital options, and our research pages, and then Leanne's going to talk a little bit about programs. So at our library, of course, we have books and audiobooks, movies, newspapers, and then a lot more with our e-materials and our more catalog, which I'll talk a little bit more about that. I'm happy to say we're going to get Wi-Fi hotspots at our library for people to check out now. So I don't know if anyone was like me growing up. We just lived on a road that no provider would come put a cable in, so we had to have hotspots, and it kind of gets expensive. It's just a Wi-Fi hotspot, so you take it home and you can just connect your devices to it and do homework or work or anything like that. So we'll be getting those hopefully within the next month, so we're really excited about that. We have electric usage meters. We have our public computers for people to come in and use if your computer's broke or if you just have to run in and do something quick. We have, of course, free Wi-Fi for anybody to take advantage of. We also do tech time, which I'll talk a little bit more about that later, and that's just one-on-one sessions with a library staff member. Print copy, scan fax, of course, is pretty basic, but it's very much used at our library. We have a meeting room that people can reserve it's where most of our programs happen, but if it's not being used for that, people can reserve that. And then of course programs for all ages. I also wanted to talk a little bit about our collaborations. So of course we work with IFLIS, which is our library system. We're the biggest library system in Wisconsin. There's 50 plus libraries that are a part of that. And then we work with other libraries with performers and materials and that sort of thing. As Janet may have mentioned earlier, we got a grant from Alina, which allows us to do yoga 3 to 4 times a week. We originally started with some health and wellness classes too, but we just got such a great response for yoga that's what this year is specifically for that. The Job Center comes in to the library once a month to be there for anybody that needs help with resumes, interviews, getting ready for anything like that. we work with the Pierce County Health Department. They're going to come in next week and actually do a breastfeeding display at the library, and we pull books for that as well, and they'll just have information out for that. And recently, we're going to be working with the Family Resource Center, and they're going to be coming in and doing a play and learn class at the library, and we kind of partner with them a little bit on that, and hopefully to do more with that in the future. So I don't know if you can kind of see it there. This is our More catalog. I don't know if anybody's familiar with it. If you look at the very top where it says Linda and transparent language, I'll talk about those later. But what I wanted to show you is on the side, you have all those lists kind of in the crinkles there, where it'll kind of give you all the new upcoming items, just different lists you can look up different items for. So part of IFLIS, there's the MORE consortium, which there's 50 libraries a part of that, and that's where we get all of our materials from. There's a million plus items in that you can go right on here and order it right to our library to get. So let's say you wanted to get Where the Crawdad Sings. You would just click on it, and then up in the corner there it says Request. And then there's also a list of all the libraries that have it as well. And then on the very bottom there's like a read alike if you like that book, for titles and authors for that too. So it's very easy, you just request it and you just have it sent to our library and you can pick it up when you get the notice for it. So it's very simple. You can, if you want to return something at River Falls, you can do that. Any of the MORE libraries, you can get items there, return them at any of those libraries. So I want to talk a little bit about our digital options, which not a lot of people know that we have actually. It's a lot, so just bear with me. A lot of information. So we have of course, our physical materials at all the libraries, but we also have the Wisconsin Digital Library, and that's all of Wisconsin. With that, there's the Overdrive and Libby apps. Libby is the newest one and is much more user-friendly to use. You can choose your checkout period, and there's also Kindle formats available if you want to read on your Kindles. And then there's also 10 checkouts, 10 holds per user, that sort of thing. So this is the digital library. So if you notice, the orange says available, you can check those out right away, but if it's white and it says wait list, of course you have to go on the hold list for that. And then on the top, if you notice, you can search by Kindle books, only available now if you don't want to scroll through everything and you just want something right away. Kids, teens also as well. So this is another option that's really becoming more and more popular with all the devices and readers and all of that. Our second option is Freeding. So you can get a Freeding app. The good thing about these are they're always available and there's no holds on them. They're not necessarily your best sellers, but you can always get those if there's something unique you're looking for. And you get 3 checkouts per week for Freeding. It just is a few more steps because you need Adobe and a password and that sort of thing. And they also rotate their collection so often, so it's not the same. This is Freeding. It's pretty basic. You can get the sort through top downloads or new arrivals. This is just kind of the home page. So.
How many books are on that? You know?
I don't know how many. I just know they rotate them so often. But so Flipster is our digital magazine app. So there's super easy to use the website. You just log in and you click the magazine and you can read it on your device. Instead of, some people like to flip through actually, but this is another way to also get that. Just as long as you have a library card, it doesn't cost anything. This is what it looks like. So you just log in with your library card, and if you wanted the do it yourself, you open it up and it's right there. You can get past issues as well. Biblio board is another nice one because they're always available and there's never any holds on those either. You'll get more of the unique independent authors and Wisconsin Authors Project on with these. So this is what it looks like. So these are the indie Wisconsin, so these are some of the local authors, and they kind of had a contest where people submitted all of their works to that, so that's always available too. So those are all kind of the materials, reading, audiobooks and that. I wanted to talk a little bit about our online resources too. So Badger Link, I don't know if anyone's familiar with that, but you're able to get content that's not really just in Google or free search engines like that. There's quite a bit available. You can search by format, subject, so there's newspaper archives and peer-reviewed journals, academic journals that you can look up and use for free. Again, it doesn't cost anything. I was actually going to click on it and go into it, but I won't do that. So on our More page, the More Consortium has, this is their part of their website. This is their research page, so there's general research on there. A lot of people are interested in genealogy and local history, so they have a lot of links that you can use, like Heritage Quest and Ancestry Library, that you can look up those sort of things with that. And then our research page as well, it's kind of hard to see on there. We have kind of some local ones, local genealogy, Wisconsin-based resources that people can look up and use. The other one, this one's newer. This one is in the past year or so. It's called Transparent Language. There's 100 languages available, 100 plus languages, and you just go in and learn whatever language you want to learn. Yeah.
So to use these various things, do you have to be signed in?
You just need a library card, and you just sign in using your library card. Transparent Language and the next one I'm going to talk about you just have to create a login, but it's free to use. So Transparent Language has some practice activities, core skill building to help you learn that language. When you log in, this is what it looks like. I didn't select any learning paths with that, but I think I have it on Hawaiian right now just for the fun of it. Asking for directions, and it kind of goes through and helps you learn the language. Linda is the other newer one that we have. A lot of times businesses will use this, but anybody's welcome to use it as well. There's 6,000 courses available for business, technology, Photoshop, web design, a whole bunch of things. This is what it looks like. So if you look, it kind of gives you the popular learning paths on the top right now that most people are looking at. And then if you kind of go down, it kind of gives you like business, design, IT, marketing. So there's tons of expert webinars that will teach you these training things. So, do you have a question?
So Kinsey wants to learn French. She's grounded basically for a couple months. What would be the best way to place to send her from that? To this, to which one? To
Transparent Language would be the best one to give her more practice and more specific training in that. Did you say French? Yep, that would be good. Yep. So with all of those digital resources that we have and the catalogs I was explaining, we also have tech time at the library, and we're always willing to help anybody that comes in and wants to learn more about those with their devices, kind of some basic computer skills. But unfortunately, we can't help with viruses and running diagnostics and that sort of thing. But we're here to help with any of the devices or resources. So does anybody have any questions about any of the resources or anything? No? I'll turn it over to Leanne.
I got one question.
Yeah.
Does the state fund all the online services, or do you have to pay for that?
We go through IFLIS and we pay, to be part of the MORE consortium, we do pay a fee and they kind of divvy it out between all the libraries for those, most of those, yeah. I'll let you go.
Okay, so I'll be talking about all the programs that we are doing at the library, like this summer especially, because we had a lot going on. So I'll start with talking about our summer reading program. So our theme for this year was a universe of stories. So we did a lot with space and science with a lot of our program themes. And to be able to participate, patrons had to come and register at the library, and they received a registration bag that had a reading log, stickers to put on the log, instructions on how it all went, because it's a lot to take in right there, and then also a bookmark. And so each time someone completed a log, there were 50 spots on each log. And so to complete a log, you would read for 20 minutes, come to the library, or attend a program, and you could put a sticker on one of those spots. And once you filled in that log, you could bring it back to the library, and you would get to pick out a free book. We had books for adults, kids, teens, and then you would also get to enter into a raffle. And we had 4 different raffles to choose from because why just have one? And so those were a summer fun basket, which is full of like toys and games you can do outside. And then a space and science basket. And then one was for Twins baseball game tickets. And another was for tickets to Sea Life at Mall of America. And so this year we had 270 people registered. So it's awesome. They keep turning in logs, and I get excited every time I see another one come in. And so we had programs that went along with the summer reading program. And so we had 11 events that we put on during June and July. And so 9 of those were for families, all ages, sort of tailored towards kids too. And then 1 was specifically for teens, and then 1 was for teens and adults. I'll get more into what we did. So we did a kickoff at Malone Elementary, Malone Intermediate, and St. Joe's. We brought a performer there. It was Spaceport Sheboygan, which was Aerospace Museum, and Brian, who actually was creator of the museum, he came and he told the kids what it was like to live as an astronaut in space, and he brought actual NASA artifacts and everything, and the kids got a kick out of those. And he actually used to work for NASA. He used to train astronauts, so he had a lot of first-hand knowledge to give them. And so that was our way to kick off, like, to the kids, be like, come sign up. We're gonna do lots of fun programs with space and science. And we got a good number that came in after that, so that was a lot of fun. And so some of the activities you did, I did a family craft night. I did one in June and July. So our one in June, we made some moon and star mobiles, and then we also had a coloring station where I had coloring sheets for the kids to do, and I actually posted what they colored throughout the library. So it was like, I had them help us decorate a bit. And so that was a lot of fun to do. And then we had a planting activity. So first I did story time with the kids, and after I was like, if you want to come help us plant the planters outside the library, you can. So the kids and their parents helped, and we have some vegetables in a few of them, and then we have flowers as well. And so that's a community garden, so once stuff starts growing, anyone can feel free to pick what's there. And then in June and July, I did fun with STEM. This one was a big hit. A lot of people came to these. So our one in June, the format that I did was I started out with about 3 experiments that the kids and their parents could watch. And then at the end, we did a building challenge. So for the first one, they got simple materials like straws and tape. And I was like, with these materials, see how big of a tower you can build with them. And so that was really cool, just seeing how the kids thought through that process. And then for the one in July, they were given a sheet of foil, and their task was to make a boat out of that, and we saw how many pebbles their boat could hold. And so that was a big hit. And then this was our program for teens and adults, driftless stargazing. John Heasley was the presenter, and he's a solar system ambassador, so he's a volunteer for NASA. And he came in and he told the story of how we first got to the moon, and he brought in lots of cool artifacts, like newspapers from then, and he told his own personal story of like where he was when they first got to the moon. And then he even donated some books to the library, which was really cool. We really appreciated that. He was a great guy, one of the most energetic people I've ever met in my life. So that was a very cool presentation to be a part of. And then this was our program that I did for teens. We did a trivia night. And so the first part of it, I made a Jeopardy style game. And so I split them up into teams, and we went through that, and then we ended a bit early, so I was like, should we do some online quizzes? And they were all about that. So I don't know if you've heard of Kahoot. It's a way that kids can use their phones to answer questions on quizzes. And so we did that, and they had a lot of fun with that. Because then I also let them choose what topics we did then for the second part, and they were just blurting things all over the place, like, let's do this, and this, and this. And so that was a lot of fun for them. And then we had Curtis Mork, who called himself the Lego guy, and he came in and did a program for all ages, and he talked a little about the history of Legos, and then he also brought in some of his personal collection, which you can see in the far photo. And then he even had the kids participate in a building challenge then, so it was cool. So they got to do some hands-on stuff, so it wasn't just all listening for that program. And then Books and Benches was a program that we did recently with the Phipps in Hudson and then Freedom Park. And so this was story time at Freedom Park. And so I started out doing story time with the kids, and then we talked about the butterfly bench that's at Freedom Park and who built it, like why we did it and everything like that. And then, so after story time, we had, I don't know if you've heard of Plantables in Hudson. They came and sort of did a little presentation on what their company is about, and they talked about they make these butterfly bombs, and those are to help plant flowers that butterflies are attracted to. And so then the kids got to make some butterfly bombs, which was really fun. So we made them out of clay, and we put the seeds in them, and that was really cool to see hands-on learning how their company works. And then Traveling Lantern Theater Company just came earlier in the week, and they did a play performance called My Mother the Astronaut. And what that was, it was about a girl whose mom was an astronaut, and so she got to go to NASA to see what it was like and everything. And they taught the kids a lot about like outer space and planets and all that. And they did a lot of audience participation, which was really cool. They involved all the kids, and it was a really fun performance to see. And so this one hasn't happened yet. This will be happening tomorrow. Our summer reading program finale is Pint-Sized Polkas. And so he's a nationally acclaimed polka band, and he's performing his program Music and Magic from the Polkaverse. And so that'll include music, dancing. He said it'll include some magic, and then he said it'll also have a science experiment that'll be going on too. So I'm really excited to see how that goes tomorrow. And it's just a fun way to end the program and everything. And so now that we're past the summer reading program, I'll talk about our continuing programs that we have throughout the year. So story time. During the summer, we had it every Friday morning at 10:30, and then during the school year, we'll start back up with Tuesday evenings as well. And so I kind of have that open-ended for whatever ages want to come. I don't want to turn anyone away. And so with that, I usually read stories, and then we'll have some music, some songs that we do. and then I try to end with some sort of craft or activity for everyone to be involved with. And then beginning yoga. So as was mentioned before, we have the Alina grant that allows us to do yoga. So we have it 3 times a week. We have Monday afternoons, and then Wednesday mornings is chair yoga, and then Friday mornings is also beginning yoga. And during July we also had some Wednesday evening classes as well. So that's been a really popular one for adults to come to. And then we have tail wagging tutors. So with this one we work with Therapy Dogs International, and we have someone bring in their therapy dog, and the kids can sign up for 15-minute time slots to read to a dog, because there's been studies that say kids can improve their reading by reading to a dog, because the dog's not going to judge you. So that's a really fun one to do. And then we have the adult coloring craze. So this one's just for adults as well, and it's just an hour, second and fourth Tuesday of every month. And so with that one, adults can just come in. We have a lot of coloring books they can do. It's really relaxing to color. And then for kids, we have the Lego Club. And this one is a monthly one where each month I'll put out like a building challenge for them to do. And then once they're done building their creations, we put them out on display in the library. So that's a nice hands-on one for them. And then we have movies every Monday at the library. This one, more adults come to it. We try to do at least one kid movie, but it's mostly for adults. We have a lot of new releases that we usually do. We'll check out what's being released and try to do really current ones. And then the Teen Advisory Board, also known as TAB. So this is a big opportunity for teens to be involved with the library. And if they want to become a member, they can fill out a form and everything, and it's really just led by them. They are in charge of the meetings. I kind of sit there and observe and try to keep them on track, but it's a really great opportunity for their voices to be heard and everything, to take leadership. So that's a really cool one for them. And so then I'm also going to talk about our outreach and like partnerships that we've had with the community. So with the schools, we've done some like book projects and book clubs, and with the schools we also do outreach for TAB, and then Volunteens, which is a volunteer program for the teens during the summer. So if they sign up, they help me put on events at the library, and then also with the summer reading program. And then we worked with the daycares, and we worked with them to come to our programs. We've done scavenger hunts, movies, and the Lego Club as well. And we've also gone into the daycares and read to the kids. And then a Fifth Center for the Arts. Like I mentioned before, we did books and benches with them. And what they mainly did was they talked a lot about the bench and everything and just informed people about that. And then Freedom Park. We did a bat presentation at Freedom Park. We've done rock painting, and then books and benches again. And then we worked with community ed, especially for the kickoff to summer, and then a Peeps Diorama contest that we did at the library. Yeah, so we worked with a lot of people in the community, and it's always fun when we bring someone else into what we do. And so then, are there any questions?
Do you have a fundraising program? Are you going to do something this year?
No, I don't think we do a program fundraising.
We will fundraise for like the summer reading program, but that's really all we've ever done. We can't really do a lot of it. And we don't currently have a friends group to help us with that, but we're kind of looking into that right now.
Friends of the library
Yes.
type thing?
Yep.
How hard is it to get the word out about what's going on at the library?
We try to put it in the newspapers, online, Facebook, website. We've sent stuff out with the water bill. It's kind kind of like that's kind of the big things that we try.
It seems like it's the biggest problem in our town.
Yes.
There's a million things going on at Freedom Park. There's great
Yes.
programming here.
Yes.
And how do we get the word around?
Yes, we try and get it out, and we even have people come in and say, that sounds cool, and then they don't show up. So
Right.
we try and get out as many places as we can, but
Great
it is a
programming.
struggle.
It looks like really good.
It seemed like for a lot of the events you had quite a few people at it,
Yes.
which is great.
Yeah, I was really happy with the numbers that we got this year. Yeah, and it's nice because we'll have someone come to one program and then they'll see about the other ones, and so they start coming to all of them after that, which is awesome.
I'd say yoga we get 10 to 15
or
people.
more.
And then we just had the traveling lantern one Leanne talked about, and there was 60 kids here from the daycares and everything. So, yeah.
The one thing I like, if I find an author that I've liked and I really like the book or something, I go into the Moore system and you can find out, oh, they've written this, they've written that. And they don't care if I take home a movie and never watch it and come back and order it again and again. Because I've done that because you have them for a week. Now look, and I've got a really light week or something and all of a sudden it gets busy. But I have a friend, another community, I said, go to your library. She'll call me when I'm coming to visit. Bring some movies. What? Don't you have a library? Yeah. She's in Minnesota, but still, she could go to the library and pick out her own. But it's just funny because, yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very
Thanks, guys.
nice.